Hello YouTube! How's it going? Dylan here. And today, it's going to be a podcast all about things that came from San Diego Comic-Con 2015. Me and my lovely girlfriend here, Sydney, say hi.
Hi.
Are going to be talking about everything that, well, not everything, but as much as we can remember and that we actually care about, and things that we really care about, we'll go in a little bit of depth. And then things that aren't as important, we'll just mention. Like, I'll go ahead and just mention that trailers for The Walking Dead's next season and Fear of the Walking Dead came out. People have seen that and have liked that. Did you see either one of those trailers?
No, but we can watch them really quick. If you want.
I don't want to.
Okay.
I just said things that we care about, and
I care about Walking Dead, but
by I mean me, because.
By we. Shut up.
Anyways, so those came out. We got a look at Stephen Amell's Green Arrow costume for the 4th season of Arrow. We got confirmed Jay Garrick, the original Flash, for season 2 of The Flash. Which I actually really care about, but, there's not much to that news other than that. And they casted the actor, I don't know who he is, and I can't remember his name. They also got someone else. Some chick. Again, I don't know, because it was very brief. But now, let's talk about some things that are awesome and important, like the trailer for Doctor Who Series 9, Season 9, following Peter Capaldi's adventures as the Doctor for a 2nd season.
It looked really exciting, but I'm so behind on Doctor Who that I wasn't exactly sure what was happening, but it still looks like it's going to be a heart-wrenching and amazing and terrifying time.
In the trailer, it appears that we see Gallifrey, actually. It looks like Gallifrey is going to be found this season, maybe?
About time, if so.
Because that's what that one city was. Not the one that was underwater, but like Hey, it could be an underwater city on Gallifrey. You don't know.
At this
knows.
point,
We've
I wouldn't be
never
surprised.
actually seen the planet.
At this point, I would not be surprised. I mean, Doctor Who's thrown so much shit at me, I can't even keep track of really what's happening anymore. I mean, I can, but it's just like everything makes sense, but also doesn't make sense all at the same time. But that's why I watch it.
And my speculation for the person who shows up at the end of the trailer, cover your ears because this is spoilers. I think it is River Song showing up finally for Capaldi to meet. That'll be the first time River meets the Doctor, I guess. Other than when she was a baby. Oh, you didn't hear that, did you?
I heard it the first time, but I was just pretending that I didn't.
Oh.
I don't care at this point, man.
Well, I wasn't trying to spoil it for you.
Well, I mean, at this point, it's my fault because I'm just so far behind on watching the stuff that...
Good, you take responsibility so I don't feel bad.
I mean, I do.
Anyways, so yeah, and I believe that's who that girl was at the very end, which is awesome if, River showing up yet in her younger form. That'd be cool. Alright, I didn't watch the Doctor Who panel or any of this stuff. I just watched the trailer. Did you watch any panels?
I haven't gotten a chance to yet. I plan on watching panels, but I haven't gotten a chance to yet.
Yeah, there's a couple panel. There's one panel that I watched, and the panel that I watched we'll go ahead and talk about. Batman v Superman, the lengthy official trailer that they released at Comic-Con. I watched the panel for that, and it was interesting. Couple weird fans came up and asked questions, but that's to be expected. And Ben Affleck told a story about how last Halloween, I believe it was last Halloween, he went shopping for a costume for his son, and he went to get a Batman costume for his son, and he ran into Christian Bale, who was with his son, also getting
Hollywood is amazing. What kind of shit do you have in your life that you just go, I'm gonna go to Target or whatever and get my son a freaking Batman costume, and you just run into Christian Bale?
Well, apparently they went to he actually went to like a costume store, like a Halloween costume store, and he ran into Christian Bale. Like, but still, like you said, how does that happen? Like, I hope that the owner of the store saw that and recognized that moment and snapped a quick picture. Because if they did, or if they were there and they didn't, then they failed. They failed the internet. Because that would have been a really cool picture. But apparently Christian Bale told Ben Affleck, well, Ben asked Christian if he had any advice, and Christian said, make sure you can pee in the suit.
You know, that's something I freaking wondered. Because, you know, I think of really weird shit when I'm watching movies sometimes. Like, if there's nothing really happening, and it's like that kind of part in the action superhero movie where it's like kind of story, and the story's interesting, but like there's no real action going on, so you're not that excited. I sit there, and I'm a person that really likes putting thought into the costumes and the art that goes behind cinema and everything like that. So I've sat there several times and wondered, how in the actual hell do these males in these like full body suits with armor and everything, how do they pee? Like, how do they function in general in some of these suits?
I imagine in real life, in actual filming, I imagine if an actor has to use the bathroom and they can't, like regardless if an actor has to use the bathroom, they have to call it cut. And I imagine sometimes that just might be the scene for the day because they'll have to take off the costume completely, and they might not want to get back in it. Like, if it's a long process to get in and out.
Either that, or it's kind of like, you're not a woman, so you've never really been on a bridesmaid's side of, like, a wedding. It's either that, or it's kind of like the bride's getting married, and there has to be, like, 7 people to, like, lift her gown up to pee. It might be, like, one of those situations where they have, like, with some of the superheroes, they have to have, like, 7 people help them undress to actually go and pee, and then redress them once they're done peeing. So I've had to do that twice before.
I mean, that sounds about nice. That sounds about nice. I can't speak. That's probably what happens. But I think in the comics, Batman has like a thing, like he has it built in where he can just pee.
Wait, they actually established that he's got like a little go ready thing for him to pee. Like he's got shit hooked up so that he can pee.
It's Batman's either got that, or there's either he's got that. There's a flap. Or Batman never uses the bathroom.
Oh my god. Comics are amazing.
It's Batman. He thinks of everything.
Was that established in the 1950s? Because it sounds like that came out of the comics from the 1950s.
I don't know. Someone fact check me. I don't know. I doubt it's ever come up unless like there's been like one of those weird issues of comics where like the superhero saves someone and the person asks like that weird question.
But while on the topic of the costumes, again, I'm someone who really likes looking at like all the small, fine parts of the art in the cinemas. The costumes were really good, and anyone who knows me, I absolutely adore Wonder Woman and love everything about Wonder Woman, and I absolutely love her costume. It's different, but it's still Wonder Woman, and the actress looks good in it. Everything about it is just war goddess, and I love every part of it. And not just her costume, the Batman costume's good, the Superman costume's good, obviously.
It's bright. Superman's is brighter than from Man of Steel, so I like it a lot more.
I like all of the looks that they're going for. Like I said, Wonder Woman is definitely my favorite, though. There's so much thought put into that, and it's so different from, like, what you've seen before with her typical costume. And a big thing has always been if her costume is too revealing or not. And hers is still revealing in a way, but I feel like it's more practical for actually fighting. I feel like it's something more than an Amazon would wear. And I really like that about that.
I thought Gal Gadot, I think that's how you say her name, looks good as Wonder Woman. Her Wonder Woman still looks like a very slim Wonder Woman, not quite as Amazonian, not quite as muscular as she probably actually would be, but I thought she looked good. I'm still concerned about how she acts as Wonder Woman.
A lot of people, yeah.
She had no dialogue in that trailer.
A lot of people are always concerned because she's a supermodel that's acting for like the first time, right?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, a lot of people are usually concerned when supermodels come out and because they're just playing like the typical hot woman or whatever for movies. Well,
that's
and
definitely
stuff.
not the role that someone.
But yeah, like
that's going to be Wonder Woman should like have a mindset for. So hopefully it.
So yeah,
she doesn't. It doesn't seem like she does. Like it seems like she's got a good mindset because she was on that. She was on the Batman v Superman panel too.
Mm-hmm. See, because the thing about the Batman and Superman movies, and you've heard me say this a million times, Batman and Superman has been so, to me personally, played out over the years. We've had a million Batman movies, we've had a million Superman movies, and they're all kind of the same thing here and there. Some are worse than others. We have some that are like, I personally love The Dark Knight Rises. That was one of my favorite ones, and I like and
just
that
the Dark
one.
Knight.
And The Dark Knight or whatever.
Just the Dark.
Was it just The Dark Knight?
Well, hold
There's
on,
Dark
which
Knight
one
and Dark Knight Rises.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about the movie, the comic, The Dark Knight Rises.
Well, I like both of them, but I love those movies. But then you obviously have ones like what's the horrible one? Is it Batman and Robin? That was
Batman
in the 80s
Robin,
or something like
no,
that.
No, that was in early 2000s. Batman.
Was
and
it
Robin,
really?
Batman and Robin or Batman Forever.
I swear to God, I watched that shit and I thought it was from the 80s. That's how bad it was.
No, Batman and Robin was from like the late 1990s.
Oh my God.
Early 2000s. One of them came out in the 2000s.
Wow. Well, either way, like Batman and Superman has been something that's occurred so often,
but they've never fought before.
But yeah,
they've never been in the same movie before.
Yeah, this is something that's a little different. And at first, I was concerned because like it kind of felt like at that point, it kind of felt like it was a Friday the 13th and a Nightmare on Elm Street kind of a thing. Like, they played both of them out, and then, oh, they're played out. Now we're going to have them fight because there was a Freddy versus Jason movie, and it was absolutely stupid. I mean, it was kind of funny for a horror fan to watch, but this actually looks good. It looks like they're adding a little bit more to it. I like all the actors that are in it, and I like the fact that we have Wonder Woman in it because she's a character we haven't seen in a movie in a really long time, like a live action movie. I think there was one long time ago, or a TV show. Yeah.
And then there was a failed Wonder Woman movie, I think.
Like, it's something we haven't seen in such a long time. Her being there, and then like just this new combination of these characters, I think is going to be a really interesting mix for this movie.
Aquaman's supposed to be in the movie too.
Is it?
We haven't seen him yet. Apparently, he is captured. Like, he's in a LexCorp tank or whatever, and Lex Luthor's, like, holding him hostage. So what... Now, how much do you know about Lex Luthor?
I knew more. It's been a long time since I was really, like, delved into the Superman story. I know Lex Luthor... I obviously know, like, he's the bad guy. He's the reoccurring villain. He's rich. And I know, like, the basicness behind Lex Luthor, but I haven't read a lot about him or anything like that. I'm not a big Superman fan. I like Batman more. Like, in the Batman versus Superman fight, I pick Batman.
Fair enough. A lot of people do. I think there's more people on Batman's side than there is Superman's side. So, with your limited knowledge of Lex, how do you feel about Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor?
See, that's the thing. Jesse Eisenberg...
Did you like the way he sounded in the trailer?
Yeah, I like Jesse Eisenberg as an actor. I do like him.
So do I.
And
really do.
When they said that he was going to be Lex Luthor, I know that, like, when I picture Lex Luthor, he wasn't the exact look that I had in mind. But seeing him in the trailer and talking and everything, I really liked it. And I actually have really high hopes for him. I think he's going to be a really good Lex Luthor, actually.
I did enjoy his, like, speaking in the movie. I wasn't expecting them to go the route of him wearing a wig, though.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Like, it's obviously a wig, and it's like, why go back to that? Why not just have Lex as just a bald guy? Because, you know, at some point in the movie, that wig is coming off, and it's just going to stay off. But, like, until then, like, what's the point?
It's like one of those big reveal things. Like, oh, he's bald. This means he's actually Lex Luthor now. Like, they do that in movies sometimes.
Yeah, but no one in the audience is going to be surprised.
Yeah, but...
When the wig comes off, everyone's going to be like, finally, it's about damn time.
See, he's never the kind of actor I ever saw playing a villain in a superhero film or anything like that, or a villain in general.
I think most of his characters borderline on, like, sociopathic narcissists, so...
But, like, I never picked him, like, as, like, a superhero villain, like, the one that would, like, be something like Lex Luthor or something like that. Because Lex Luthor's a notorious one. He's a notorious, like, DC supervillain. Yeah. So, I never really pictured him in that kind of a role, but, like, I really feel like he has it going for him, and I really, like, hope that he really, really does well, and that the fans like him, and that I like him, and everything.
What else? Batman looks awesome. There's a lot of really cool shots of Ben Affleck as Batman in the trailer. Like, and what's really cool that everyone's talked about is the reverse scene of Man of Steel, where the buildings are being destroyed, but now you're seeing that Bruce Wayne was in Metropolis when things were being destroyed, and it was one of his towers that was destroyed. Everyone's got a gripe with the fact that when you see the newspaper article that he's reading in the trailer, the clipping, and it says dozens killed, like, clearly more than a dozen people were killed.
I feel like
in the entire thing.
I feel like when they say dozens, like, it should be like dozens.
The headline should say hundreds killed.
Probably.
Like,
at least 800.
Literally, unless the article is specifically referring to the Wayne Tower falling, like, unless it's saying the people that were killed in that tower, then yeah, dozens fine. If there was only like a couple dozen people in there, fine. But if they're talking about the entire destruction of the city, then I call bull fucking shit. Hundreds of people died, unless there's a theory that maybe. Because we're also supposed to see Flash in the movie. There's a theory that maybe Flash was saving people from the city.
Okay, that would make sense.
If that is actually the case, fine. But, like, until they do something like that, which I doubt they will do, that title should say hundreds killed.
True.
And also...
But that's also nitpicking, and there's minor details in movies. I'm not one of those people that nitpicks, but... I see where you're coming from, too, though.
There are things, but I'm really excited about seeing the dead Robin costume in the Batcave. You didn't notice that?
No, I did not.
It's
wow.
You see the costume, it looks kind of charred, and it's actually got spray paint on it.
Oh, I did see that. No, like, I know what you're talking about now. That's right.
Ha-ha jokes on you,
Yeah,
Batman.
ha-ha jokes on you, yeah.
Yeah.
I just kind of blocked that out. I remember that now.
Yeah, that was a dead Robin costume. Well, hopefully that's a dead Robin. Hopefully the Robin didn't live and he just has that. Like, I'm interested to see.
But why would you keep that?
Well, because after Jason Todd dies, that's the Robin that should be. So Dick Grayson should be a character in this universe already. He should already be like Nightwing at this point.
So I'd love to see Nightwing, yo. Yeah. Most people would.
Yeah. Everyone would love to see Nightwing and Red Hood. That would be awesome to see in these movies. So, especially for like the solo Batman movie that's coming, that was also officially confirmed that Ben Affleck is going to help write and direct and star in it.
You know, I hope that means that we really do have a Robin, because Christian Bale, like, we didn't have a Robin really with him.
Like, we've had Robins kind of in Batman movies. There was, Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. There was a Robin, quote unquote, and then at the end of The Dark Knight Rises,
it hints that
Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character is Robin, which was dumb and kind of weird, but whatever.
I don't know. I like Robin. I like seeing Robin. I especially obviously like Dick Grayson because he goes from Robin to Nightwing, and I love seeing, like, I wish we did have something with Nightwing in it, and we haven't had a Batman movie in a while that had a Robin, and I feel like if they went about it in a non-lame way, like they usually have with the Robins, then it could be good.
Yeah, I'm really hopeful, and maybe they'll include Oracle, and they'll say, like, because showing a dead Robin costume assumably means death in the family happened which means maybe the
Cool.
Killing Joke happened, which would be awesome. So there'd be an Oracle character. So the Batman, the movie, could be really awesome, but we're still talking about Batman v Superman.
Yes.
I think we've gone over that trailer pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't think we missed anything. Superman on trial at the beginning of the trailer.
That's one more thing. Like, I really like when they do superhero movies and they address, like, they make it realistic in the world that it would be in today. Like, they make it so that some people would be all for the superheroes and that they would think they were good, but then there's people who would detest them and be like, they could destroy us, and would, like, try and control them. I like how they make the superheroes human in a way. Even for someone like Superman, who technically isn't even a human, they humanize them, they give them, they show emotions and, like, things like that.
I just like the idea of trying to actually put Superman on trial.
Yeah.
I just think it's really funny. Because, like, Superman doesn't have to show up to court. He doesn't
have human responsibilities.
Like, he doesn't have to go to court. He could just be like, look, I saved the world. Fuck you, I'm not going to court. But, like, I think it's really cool that he actually does, like, go to court.
Well, obviously, he's like Mr. Perfect is, like, the only way I can say it, because honestly,
I mean, like, the New 52 Superman, who this Superman's based off of, is kind of a dick. So
I've always thought Superman's kind of a dick here and there, but
well, like, pre-New 52 Superman was like, he was perfect. This
well,
new
yeah, they
Superman-
also went as far as making him a god in that one story. Like, Superman was overdone a lot, but they did bring him down a lot, and I'm actually liking Superman more after the New 52 and stuff like that, because he just had it was too much at first. But now, I like him more, and that's why I'm interested to see this movie.
Should be good. All right, moving on to Suicide Squad. We'll just go right there because
I'm excited about this one.
Because the Suicide Squad panel was like 5 minutes long. All it was the director came out, said some things, showed the trailer, the cast came out, and then they left. All the cast showed up except for Jared Leto.
Okay.
The only cast member of the Suicide Squad that wasn't present at San Diego was the Joker.
I'd be kind of mad if I was only there for 5 minutes. Like,
Well,
waiting in a
I
line.
think the way the footage showed it like Batman v Superman, then the Suicide Squad panel.
Okay.
Like, they happened back to back.
Alright, that makes more sense then.
I think that's how that actually happened. Like, you went in for the DC Hall H,
Okay.
and, like, they did the Batman v Superman, then Suicide Squad, and then they were done. It took them a day to actually officially release the Suicide Squad footage, which I don't know why they didn't just do it in the first place, because they knew it was going to leak. Like, cause, like, they showed Batman v Superman trailer, and then officially released it because they knew people were going to leak it. Then the same thing with the Suicide Squad, except it took them a day longer to release that one. At least they officially released it, so we saw it in HD and we can talk about it in full length. Go.
So many things. Jared Leto terrifies me, which is good, because I love the Joker. The Joker is my favorite DC villain. I just have always liked it the way that the Joker is written, because psychotic villains are my favorite kind of villain, because they're the ones that you never know what they're gonna friggin' do. Like, they can just be a wild gun at any time. And when I have a Joker, I want to be disturbed by the Joker. And when Jared Leto's face was looking right into my soul, like, his eyes were just boring, like, into my soul, and he looked crazy, like, he made me uncomfortable, and I'm like, good, that's what I want from a Joker. Also, really like his Joker voice. I don't know if you noticed the Joker voice.
I was getting ready to ask you, how did you think he sounded?
It definitely wasn't something that was, like, maybe as good as, like, Mark Hamill or anything, but it was very good. Like, it was a really good Joker voice.
A lot of people were saying it sounds like a Heath Ledger impression, and it doesn't to me.
It doesn't to me. And see, I like the Heath Ledger, I can never say his name, the Heath Ledger Joker. I really liked him, actually. So I don't think he sounds like that. The Heath Ledger Joker had more of like a drawl to his voice, if that makes sense.
His sounded like it had more of a looser grip on sanity. Like his voice always sounded like it might go off into either like almost a sob or like anger
or like a yell. Yeah,
like his voice teetered. This Joker just sounds menacing.
He sounds like the Joker. Like he sounds like almost exactly like what I've always pictured the Joker to sound like.
Now, a theory about that scene that you see the Joker that he like shows up. The theory is that scene is him killing Jason Todd.
Oh. Well, that would make me sad if that's true.
To watch a Robin die.
Yeah.
Like, we get a Robin in a movie. He dead.
He dead.
That's just a theory. I don't like, that would be cool if that's the case, because apparently Suicide Squad happens before, or yeah, I think chronologically Suicide Squad happens before Batman v Superman, but after Man of Steel, I believe.
Okay.
Is what I have heard.
That would make me sad, because it was obvious that what was going on in that scene was very dark and maybe a little gory and just not fun, and I'd be very sad if that was happening to a Robin. It just looked like that was kind of like out of a horror movie kind of a thing going on, so.
And like, obviously the Joker was actually going to kill him. He was lying. Because the Joker's the liar.
Well, duh.
Alright, so let's run down the Suicide Squad as we see them in the trailer. Harley Quinn.
God damn it, I love Harley Quinn. I want to marry Harley Quinn. No, I don't actually want to marry her, because she's... Good Harley Quinns are insane Harley Quinns, just like the Joker. Which is why them as a crime partnership, they're great. Like, as far as crime partners go, they're fantastic, but relationships, not so much. Obviously, everyone knows at this point that their relationship is abusive, and it's even prominent in the Suicide Squad comic. There's that scene with, it is in the Suicide comic, correct, that she puts his face on Deadshot, right?
Yeah, I believe that happened in, early, the first incarnation of the New 52 Suicide Squad. I believe that is when that happened.
So it's just, Harley is such a complex character, and she's smart as hell. Like, in every variation I've seen her, she's smart as hell, but her reoccurring problem's always the Joker. And after the Joker, she just becomes even more, she was always, a little weird and maybe a little bit crazy from some people's view, but obviously after the Joker's involved, she is crazy. And what I love about this girl that's playing Harley Quinn, which I can never remember her name.
Margot Robbie.
She looks like a good Harley Quinn. And her hair and everything, she looks deranged. But she also kind of looks like that cutesy kind of a Harley Quinn that, everyone likes to pretend is the real Harley Quinn. But then they get the hammer or whatever to the face, and then they're like, oh, that's not actually her.
The thing that made me sad is you don't see her with a hammer.
Yeah, she doesn't have a hammer.
With a mallet in the trailer. She has a bat.
She has a bat, which I was a fan of the bat, actually.
I mean, I guess the bat's more practical if you don't, assuming, if you don't give Harley Quinn any kind of enhanced strength, then yeah, the bat makes more sense than her having a giant mallet. But I really like the giant mallet, and I really would have liked to see it on
everyone really
screen.
likes the giant mallet. I want one of the giant mallets. But I'm excited because Harley Quinn is yet another character that we haven't really seen that much of.
We've never seen a live-action...
Never seen a live-action Harley Quinn.
Pretty much never seen a live-action version of anybody that is about to be in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
With the exception of Deadshot, Katana, and Captain Boomerang. They've all appeared on The Flash and Arrow. Am I missing anyone?
I don't think so.
That have appeared on Flash and Arrow? No, I think that's everyone that is on the Suicide Squad that has appeared in Flash and Arrow. So, Harley Quinn, her voice, I liked her voice.
I really liked her voice too.
Sounds like Harley Quinn.
I'm really hoping in this movie that there's an even amount. It never usually happens like this. I hope there's an even amount of story arc for all of the characters. But I hope there's like a little bit of a story arc on Harley's thing, which with the Joker being in there, I'm sure there's gonna be a Harley Quinn story arc. I'm sure that a big story arc might be about Harley Quinn because of the Joker being in there, which would be good because whenever Harley Quinn's involved, Joker's always involved too because of their horrible relationship.
Yeah. Deadshot, Will Smith.
I don't know too much about Deadshot. I know that I like Will Smith playing him. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I do.
I'm still not sold.
I really, really like Will Smith. And like a lot of people...
I like Will Smith too, but Will Smith always plays a good guy.
He does. However, he's been in some superhero movies before. A lot of people might disagree with me here, but he was in Hancock. And he was good in that movie. And of course, he was technically a good guy. He was a drunken good guy that didn't really know what he was doing. But that was a good movie. He's always done very well, I think, in all of his movies. And I think that he can pull it off. I think, like, a lot of people are, like, judging Will Smith because I don't think his ethnicity is technically what it's supposed to be or something like that.
Deadshot's usually white.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. Skin color doesn't matter. A lot of people get all butthurt about that, but I think he's a good actor. I think that he'll do a very good job. And I think if they do a little bit of a relationship between Deadshot and Harley Quinn, that'll actually be really funny because those kids, like, they've worked together before. I believe they were in like that bank heist movie or something.
They were in a movie that came out not too long ago.
Something about Robin and money or something.
It was a scam movie. Like, the movie was about scams. The movie itself wasn't a scam.
Mm-hmm. But, like, I feel like if they worked together before, maybe they'll have chemistry, and, like, I feel like that could be a good, like, kind of a story arc, too, and everything. I'm excited for Will Smith. I like him. I think he'll do a good job. I really do.
Let's see, who else? El Diablo.
Another one I don't really know too much about.
Neither do I. We don't have to talk about him, because he was the guy whose face had a skull tattooed on it. Yeah, I have no idea who he actually is. Slipknot's in it, too. He wasn't in the trailer.
The costume was good. I remember looking, like, now that you mentioned who he is, I remember thinking the costume was very good.
Well, the face, like, I don't
and, like,
think
the face and everything.
Saw an actual costume.
We see the face and, like, the part that you see.
My assumption is El Diablo and Slipknot, who are on... You don't actually see Slipknot in the trailer. At least I don't think you do. But I just assume they're cannon fodder. They're probably going to die because it's going to be like, Suicide Squad.
Yeah, like, fucking Quicksilver and fucking... Avengers movie. I'm still pissed about that.
That's not what we're talking about.
I know, but still.
Marvel wasn't there.
I don't
Fox
care.
was there, but Marvel Studios wasn't there. Let's see, who else was in that? We saw Enchantress. She looked deranged. She was the chick in, like, the bath or whatever.
Yeah. You know me, I'm all up for some female superheroes or supervillains. Supervillains more so. I really like female supervillains.
I'm not entirely sure who she is. And then we saw Katana. She was in there. That costume looks almost exactly the same as the one that was in the Arrow. So, like, it was weird.
Katana. That means it's good, though.
Katana doesn't... Like, certain iterations, Katana doesn't talk, but then it's weird. She looks fine. She looks cool in the trailer. Who else? Killer Croc. He looked really... I like him. I liked him more in the trailer than I do in the still shot. Nothing.
Another one I honestly don't know too much about, but
he was the
one that kind of freaked me out a little bit, but I liked him.
He was like the really
big one, yeah.
Scaly, spiky head.
Yeah, he was the one that, like, I bet you're gonna be badass, but you kind of freaked me out a little bit, so I'm not sure if I like you or not.
I'm interested to hear his voice. Because I always imagine Killer Croc's voice kind of
gruff.
Yeah, very, very deep. And then Captain Boomerang, he actually talks. He sounds very Australian, so
good.
That's
gotta love an Australian accent, man. You can't not.
Although no one really likes the actor who's playing Captain Boomerang, Jai Courtney, I believe that's his name. I honestly have not seen him in any movies. Like, I know movies that he is in that people do not like, but I've never actually seen any of those movies. So I have no opinions. But he's playing Captain Boomerang, so it doesn't really matter how good of an actor he is, as long as he's Australian, he fits the bill for Captain Boomerang, I think.
It's always good to, like, even if there's some actors it's like, it's understandable if you don't want to give them a chance, but there's a lot of actors that, like, give them a chance, especially in superhero movies, because they can be pretty good in some of them. Because, like, take some superhero movies, like, what's a really bad one? My favorite example, Catwoman. That was a horrible fucking movie. That was the worst superhero movie I've ever seen. But Halle Berry played a great Catwoman. She did the best she could with the script she was given. She was a good Catwoman. I would have loved to see her with a better script. Have you ever actually seen that movie?
Yes, I have.
Oh my god.
Before, but we're not talking about it right
Again, but that was just an example that some actors can be good, even if the movie's shitty.
now. Who else is on the squad? Rick Flag, you don't really see him in the trailer. Well, at least I don't... Like, they changed... It was supposed to be... Guy from Mad Max.
Ooh.
He was supposed to be Rick Flag, but now he's doing Mad Max, so he's not Rick Flag. Can't remember his name. He played Bane. Tom Hardy. There we go.
Okay.
Tom Hardy was supposed to be Rick Flag, and then Mad Max came up. He ditched Suicide Squad to do Mad Max.
I mean,
right now it worked out for him.
Yeah, like, definitely.
Unless the Suicide Squad turns out to be a better movie than Mad Max, then I hope
this movie does well, but I don't think it will do as well as Mad Max did, because everyone
I have high hopes for this movie.
I do too, but I'm just saying, Mad
after
Max.
that trailer, you see Batman in the Suicide Squad trailer, hanging onto the back of a Lamborghini.
Amazing. It must be fucking nice being Batman. Even if you're dying, you're hanging on the back of a freaking Lambo.
Apparently that's the Joker mobile. That Lamborghini that you see. And then you see Harley Quinn in like the passenger side, like, I hope you have insurance.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Supposedly that's the Joker driving. So. And that footage was leaked a long time ago. Because they filmed that out in the open in the streets of Toronto, I believe is where they're filming. And same with the scene where you see Deadshot propelling down the side of a building.
Great.
That was shot out in the open and leaked months ago. So, I believe that's all of the Suicide Squad. Let's go ahead and... Those are the only panels that I've watched, so that's all about that. Move on over to Deadpool.
Oh my god, I'm so excited for this stupid ass movie. I mean, they couldn't have picked a better actor to be Deadpool. Like, even when he was in the X-Men Origins movie with Wolverine, he was still good, even though, like, the actor was still good, even though
Ryan Reynolds
it wasn't an
was
actual...
a good Slade Wilson up until they shut his mouth.
Yeah, up until they shut his mouth.
Up until they fucked up.
Yeah.
But Ryan Reynolds has been like, he's been like dying to do an R-rated Deadpool movie.
Oh, he hasn't shut up about it since he played it. He's been so excited. He's been wanting to do it
since
forever.
Everything got fucked up the first time. He's been dying for this.
And the thing is, alright, I obviously have a boyfriend who is in love with, and you said Slade Wilson, by the way, not Wade Wilson.
Did I?
Yeah.
See, that just shows how much I don't like, that I actually don't like Deadpool.
I just noticed
Deathstroke.
that you did that. But I obviously have a boyfriend who is in love and has a boner for Slade Wilson. And I love Deathstroke too. I like his character.
I'm too old for Deathstroke now.
Shut up.
I'm not a 16-year-old blonde girl.
Oh my god, shut up. But the concept of Wade Wilson, when I learned that he was basically a parody of a Slade Wilson, I found it funny. But reading a couple of the Deadpool comics and just seeing some of the Deadpool stuff, he's obviously become a big pop culture kind of a superhero. He's become big. And he's just, you can't not at least giggle at his stupid shit. He's so stupid and it's funny. And he's a unique kind of a superhero, and he kind of has a tragic backstory, and he's still a stupid dumbass. So he's that kind of superhero that's you go for the funniness, but I feel like they're gonna hit you with a brick with his cancer story, in the early on. But then obviously they're gonna have the comedic humor. Yeah.
The thing is, it's Deadpool's origin's always a little bit different. Like, it obviously he's always had cancer, but it changes whether his personality is prior to the like Weapon X experiment was Wade a smartass and shit like that, or did that not happen until he kind of went insane, becoming Deadpool? Like that's always different in his origin, and it looks like in the movie that like before the cancer and when he's still like a soldier and stuff, he's just gonna be like that kind of a guy, and it's not gonna be until after the.
Well, he still seems like a little bit of a smartass, but like not a Deadpool level smartass.
Well, no, because when they're taking him, you see in the trailer when they're wheeling him into the operation for the Weapon X thing, he goes, "Ooh, if you're gonna make me a suit, make sure it's not green and make sure it's not animated," poking fun at the Green Lantern movie. So, and that's before he goes in for the operation.
Yeah. So he's still like a.
So like they're making him. It looks like they're making him self-aware, and like a super smart ass before the operation. Like that's just always been his personality.
It just. Deadpool is just like. First off, he's like the biggest dumbass I've ever read about, and he's so stupid. And there's just this movie is going to be interesting because there's so many ways he can go about it. Because obviously, a big thing in the more current comics is that, and I think it was kind of prominent in the older comics too. But I've only read a few of the comics that have come out like in the past couple of years and stuff of him. But he has like the 3 personalities that kind of go back and forth.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. He's dead in the comics right now.
Well, right now, yeah, it doesn't matter, but. In his comics, he has, like, 3 personalities. He has, like, the Wade that he was, the Wade that he is now, and then something else. I forget what it is, but, like, the 3 of them, like, go at it constantly in the comics. Like, they fight each other, they make cracks at each other, and just the whole comic is a mess, but you love it because it's so stupid and funny. And there's actually... Like, it's so... it's going to be interesting to see if they do that, because that would be an interesting thing to see in the movie. Just, like, 3 different versions of Wade just talking to himself. Which...
I don't know.
He is crazy, so I wouldn't put it past him, but...
I mean, I want them to actually release that trailer. Like, that one's leaked. I don't know why they haven't officially released it. That movie also comes out next year, so again, I don't know why they just haven't officially released it.
There's a lot of, like, fake footage and stuff out there right now, too, though, so that's probably... Like, they're probably...
They have, like... There's other footage out there, but like there's been plenty of set photos and stuff like that Ryan Reynolds has released himself and stuff. So like the trailer is out there online already, so I don't see why they don't just officially release it. Same with the next trailer we'll go ahead and talk about, X-Men Age of Apocalypse.
I'm fucking pumped for this movie. You weren't that excited, but I'm so fucking pumped.
I'm excited. My thing is, I just want Fox to give up.
I know you want Fox to give up, but honestly, from the look of that trailer, they're not going to give up anytime soon. And that thing, I feel like that movie's going to do really well. Like, holy shit. Because that's going to get a lot of the old, like, from what I'm seeing of some of the characters, that's going to get older people that were into comics, like my dad and stuff out there. My dad loves the Age of Apocalypse story. The second he saw the foreshadowing for it at the end of, what was it?
Days of Future Past.
At the end of Days of Future Past. My dad was so pumped, he got up and screamed. He was so excited for this. And from what I understand, it's a more popular storyline. So, like, just seeing characters like Jubilee and Nightcrawler, characters we haven't seen in a while.
But my thing is, who gives a fuck about Jubilee?
I fucking love Jubilee. Don't make me punch you in the face. I love her. She is my favorite.
She's only good at parties and outdoor barbecues because if she uses her powers indoors, she'll burn the fucking house down.
Shut up. I love Jubilee. Back when they had that really... I don't remember what the exact name of it was. Back when they had that really dumb cartoon that a lot of people liked, but it was really poorly animated. And Cyclops was an asshole.
It was just the X-Men...
The X-Men cartoon back with Jubilee in it.
Everyone calls it X-Men 92 because there's been like 3 X-Men cartoons. It's X-Men 92, X-Men Evolution, and...
Whatever it was, Jubilee was my favorite character. I didn't care about anybody else. Okay, I kind of cared about Rogue when she was in it. That was about it. I love Jubilee, though. I'm so excited. Again,
Jubilee is useless.
She's not. And again, another character we haven't seen... We haven't seen a live-action portrayal of her.
No.
Ever.
No.
And it's just... we're getting so many more of these characters that we haven't seen before on the screen, and it's awesome. And Nightcrawler.
We're getting a new Nightcrawler, a new
Nightcrawler.
Storm.
Haven't seen him since the second X-Men movie. One of my favorites.
New Jean Grey, new Cyclops.
Jean Grey. I like Cyclops. You don't like Cyclops. I like Cyclops.
Oh, fuck Scott Summers.
I love Scott Summers. He's a little bit of an ass, but I love him.
And then Wolverine's in the movie, but again, with that trailer, it's hard to... Yeah, I don't think you see him in the trailer.
Right now, who cares about Wolverine? I love Wolverine, but...
Well, Wolverine's kind of important because of...
I know he's important.
Because of the other bit of news that we're going to be going into. Because at the panel is when Hugh Jackman announced that the next solo Wolverine movie will be Old Man Logan.
That would be interesting to see.
It's going to be fucking dumb.
I heard you talk about this before, because of the ownership.
Yeah, well, because the important characters to Old Man Logan, other than Wolverine, Fox does not have the rights to.
Yeah.
So, the story will not work the same. They'll have to replace characters, and it's not going to be the same, and it's not going to be as good unless they use the actual characters who are supposed to be in it. So, it's going to be... it's not going to be a good movie. Hugh Jackman will probably be great as an older, gruffer...
he's always a great Wolverine. He's been great from the start. No matter what.
I like Hugh Jackman in pretty much anything he's been in.
I love Hugh Jackman. He's such a great actor.
You want to see my favorite Hugh Jackman performance is The Prestige. You need to see that movie. It is a mindfuck.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
It's.
I don't like mindfuck movies, man.
It's Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman.
What the hell was it? Inception. I was upset for an hour and a half. I still don't know what happened in that fucking movie. When did that come out? 2010? 2012?
I don't know.
Some shit.
But, yeah, so I don't care about that. But, I do care because I really like the Old Man Logan story. But, yeah, also, back to Age of Apocalypse real quick. They should just release the official trailer because, again, it's online. The trailer that they showed at Comic-Con, it's online. I want to see an HD version of that trailer.
So excited. I love the X-Men. They are my favorite.
Bold Professor X.
Finally. Oh my god, finally.
James McAvoy shaved his head.
Professor X, Wolverine, Jubilee, Nightcrawler. I love the X-Men and the people associated with the X-Men. I have always loved the X-Men. Wolverine has always been one of my favorites because my dad has, all of the old 80s Wolverine comics up in our attic, and I read a few of them when I was a kid, and I absolutely love Wolverine and just all of the X-Men, and it's just so refreshing to see Jubilee and Nightcrawler. Holy shit, I'm so pumped, because Nightcrawler's only had, one other live-action thing.
X2 is the only
X2,
time.
And he hardly had any screen time. He had a little bit, they did, a little mini story arc with him, and then, that was about it. Just, it's so nice to see all these new characters. I'm so excited for this movie.
Another blue guy on the X-Men team. That's essentially what this is.
Beast, another one I love. I love him. I just want him to have love. And to love himself. He later does and everything, but the young one right now, he's just struggling, man.
Other news. We didn't talk about Star Wars.
Oh my god! I'm just getting increasingly pumped. Star Wars is my nostalgic shit. I love Star Wars.
So
oh my god.
Both of us being as young as we are, we have our Star Wars movies were the prequels.
Yes, I didn't even know about the other ones because when I was a kid, I had every freaking plastic lightsaber I could get my hands on. I had the Darth Maul one. I had the Mace Windu one. They had the Darth Maul one, and it was the coolest.
I wanted it.
It was the coolest shit ever. I had all of them, and I would sit in front of my TV, and I would sit there and mimic all of the freaking moves that they were doing on the TV while they were performing them. I would do the rolls and everything. I almost broke my ankle once because I tried to do a cartwheel, and I couldn't do a cartwheel because I was just not bad at it. So, I don't even know why I did, because none of them ever did cartwheels, but I was in a zone, I guess, and I was just using the Force, man, and I thought the Force was going to help me. But Star Wars was a very big part of my childhood, and that was, the first, if I had a fandom, aside from, Disney, obviously, that would have been my first fandom as a kid. I loved Star Wars.
But you were saying you didn't, as a kid, you didn't know about the other 3 movies?
I didn't know about the other 3 until the 3rd one came out, and I was so, like, I had an idea that there were other Star Wars movies, but I never really watched them as much, and never watched them all the way through, until we got to the 3rd movie that my dad took me to, and I was in tears because of Anakin. I was so upset that Anakin became a bad guy, and he told me before that happens in the later movies. And he sat me down, and he was like, just watch these movies. You'll get a little closure after the 3rd one, okay? so I watched all those.
That's when you watched the original trilogy.
Because I remember I watched the first original one once. But being a kid and growing up with my generation stuff, I always liked the prequels more, because those weren't prequels to me. But I, over time, obviously came to like the older ones more, because the older ones had a little bit more of the story.
So you do like you like the original trilogy.
The originals are my favorite. The prequels have a very big spot in my heart because of my childhood nostalgia, but the original are my favorite. They're obviously my favorite. They're the most well written, and they were obviously groundbreaking for cinema at the time. So I love all of them, and people are going to freak the hell out if they know I like the prequels, but I like all of them. The prequels were not as good, I will admit that, but I really liked the first prequel. I really did.
I liked when I grew up. I watched the original trilogy a crap ton, and then 2001, I believe, is when Phantom Menace came out.
2001, I think.
And that was awesome. And I saw all 3 of the prequel movies in the theaters, and as a kid, I loved them. And I still like them a lot. Like, I enjoy the prequels because I saw them at such a young age, and I saw them with my dad.
Again, it's a nostalgia kind of a thing. Our generation, those are the ones that we saw. Those are the ones that came out in our movie theaters. Yeah, it's hard to not like them when it's coming from that kind of a perspective from when you're a kid.
Thinking now, like, I don't remember how my dad reacted to the prequels. I think he just enjoyed being there with me.
Yeah.
And, like new Star Wars, seeing them with me. I think, like, that was joy enough
Yeah, and
him.
I think that was a lot of parents' feeling about it. Because I know that's what my dad's feeling was about it. Because he loved Star Wars when he was younger.
My dad liked Star Wars a lot,
Oh my god,
too.
my dad loved Star Wars.
But I watched the original trilogy a crap ton before the prequels ever came out. So we didn't get a trailer from Comic-Con, but we got a sizzle reel of sets and
the shit I like. The sets, the costumes, them making the stuff, the behind the scenes, the nitty gritty and all that. I love seeing that stuff.
Mark Hamill with a beard. I just like Mark Hamill a lot.
I know you do.
He's awesome.
I like him too.
But if Age of Ultron's out of the way, so now December cannot come soon enough.
I'm so excited.
Like, I'm gonna see Ant-Man. I'm gonna see Fan Four Stick. I have no hopes for Fan Four Stick. But those 2 movies need to hurry up and get by so I can watch Star Wars.
Dude, the second I watched... Like, seeing this was cool, but the second I saw the trailer and the second I heard Han Solo's voice, I cheered.
And you saw Chewie.
Oh my god, and as soon as everything that I wanted to come out of that trailer came out of that trailer, and I was good. I was golden. I was sold from that minute on.
I think there was other news about the other anthology movies, like Rogue One. I think there was news about those at the panels and stuff, but I'm not really sure.
Mm-hmm.
A panel that I want to watch that I haven't watched yet is the Star Wars one. So
there's so much to look forward to with Star Wars. And let me tell you, judging by the footage from that thing from Comic-Con, they spared no fucking expense on this movie. They just went balls in. They got everything. They did everything to make this movie. Like, they're in it for the fans because they're fans too, making it at this point.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams, the guy who's directing it, didn't want to do Star Wars because he's such a fan. He didn't want to direct it and fuck it up.
Oh, yeah. You fuck up Star Wars, you fuck up life. Like,
you mean George Lucas? I have not actually ever seen... I can't say that. I've never seen the edits that he did to A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back.
I saw them because I own it, actually. Because
Do you own those?
I own it because I have, like a burned copy of it on a CD. Just because we have it, just to have it, because it's kind of like a collector thing, even though it's not really worth anything. But they were just unnecessary.
I had seen Return of the Jedi on TV.
Yeah, that was...
Because I remember when I first saw the end, I kind of liked it because like you saw the other nations cheering. Which now that 7 is coming out, that's dumb that they did that. Like you see the universe cheering, but now obviously the Empire wasn't taken down because 7's coming out. So it's really dumb. The only thing I didn't like about, but like at the time I liked the celebration thing, but I didn't like the fact that they replaced old Anakin with young Anakin.
Yeah,
I didn't like that.
That was the big one. That was just like the.
But the other thing that I didn't know this was a debate because I'd never seen it was that Han shot first. I'd never seen Greedo shoot first. I've never seen that edit of the movie of A New Hope.
I think I have. It's been a very long time since I watched A New Hope, but I think I have seen that. If he did shoot first, he totally missed and was dead before his shot even was able to do anything, basically.
Well, no, the debate is Han... Like, George Lucas went back and edited it so that Han didn't shoot first, but, like, that's the character Han is. He would have shot first. And that was the debate that I never knew about because I didn't never... But that's because I never saw the edit that George Lucas did.
I honestly can't remember. I know I've seen the edits in the 6th one. I do not know. Not the 6th one. I still call it the 6th one. I'm sorry. Growing up, that it was the 6th one to me.
Technically,
in the 3rd
Star
one,
Wars, it was episode 6.
Yeah. In the 3rd one. Whatever. In freaking the end of Star Wars.
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi. In Return of the Jedi, I know I'd seen the edits in that one because I remember seeing the young Anakin and even when I was young, thinking that was incredibly stupid.
Yeah, I would love... I know my uncle owns the original VHS trilogy.
We do too.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
We need to sit down and watch that.
I have...
Just watch the original trilogy. We gotta find a VHS player.
I have an entire collection of VHS tapes. I have every Disney movie ever made, and I have
A New Hope. I know A New Hope like the back of my hand because I owned A New Hope, and I watched that one all the time. Like, I don't know the other two as well because I never owned them.
Empire Strikes Back was always my favorite, and we have it on VHS. Or not, or whatever, yeah.
Empire Strikes Back is when you find out Vader's Luke's father.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I know this! Star Wars!
I know you know this, but I was making sure you knew which movie you were saying.
Yes, I know which movie I'm talking about. Did you not see how excited I got for Star Wars when it came up? Of course I know. That was only, like, the biggest freaking thing ever when that movie came out, that it turned out Darth Vader was Luke's father. That was only, like, the biggest mind blow of ever. I'm aware.
Do you know that was a surprise to the actors?
I did know that.
They didn't know until they were about to shoot that scene.
Mm-hmm. Which is the way to do it.
Which is funny.
If I ever wrote a movie.
It's funny to hear Mark Hamill tell the story that he reads it and goes, "Did you guys give this to me wrong? Like, are you serious?"
I'd be mad as hell.
I thought that was really cool.
But Star Wars, I think, throughout its whole history, has been very good. And a lot of people were very concerned when it was taken into Disney's hands, when it was sold. But, you know, I think it's going to be good for it. I think the movie is going to do well with all of these production teams behind it. I think it's going to do well with the original people. That's the big thing. The fact that they have the original actors is, like, the biggest thing. Because that would be a big...
There's a theory that they're all going to die in this movie.
Let me tell you, if Han Solo or Chewbacca or both of them fucking die in this movie, I'm not going to be okay. Like, we're gonna be in this movie, and we're gonna have to pause. Like, I'm not gonna be okay. Han Solo was my favorite character growing up after I watched those. When I watched the prequels, it was Anakin, and then when I watched the, originals, it was Han Solo.
You liked whiny, petulant Anakin?
I liked Anakin, okay? I grew up with Anakin.
Yeah, so did I, but I still didn't like him in 2 and 3.
I liked Anakin. To be totally honest, and everyone, if you have people that are opinionated about this, I'm gonna get shit for it. My favorite character was Jar Jar Binks in the prequels. He was my favorite, but not including Jar Jar Binks in the prequels. It was Anakin and then Mace Windu were my favorites, and then obviously Mace Windu died, and I was pissed. But it's really good to see the original come back and be a part of this, and I'm sure they're having way too much fun, and I'm sure that someone is going to die. I kind of hope it's Luke and not Han, but I'm just saying.
I'd rather it be Leia.
But I like Leia too. Like I don't want any of them to die. I don't want to cry my eyes out.
Luke can't die. He's technically probably the only Jedi other than that Sith.
I mean, they did that with Ben in
but
original movie.
He at least Obi-Wan at least trained a new Padawan before they killed him. Like so.
Barely.
This is true, but he still got some training in. All right. So moving past Star Wars, there's only one other piece of news that I can think about that is the biggest actual news announcement that I heard from Comic-Con is that it is confirmed that there will be a Killing Joke animated movie.
Yes, bitch.
I am excited because Mark Hamill has said he will never be the Joker again unless...
Double yes, bitch!
They do the Killing Joke. Meaning, he's probably going to be...
I'd be so excited.
The Joker for that animated movie.
Oh my god.
I'm pumped. When I read that was the most exciting thing that I read from Comic-Con.
The Killing Joke is one of the best, Joker stories.
It is my all-time favorite comic. I've read a lot of big ones, and, still being new to comics, I've read a lot of the big ones, and I own a lot of them, but The Killing Joke stands on top of them all for me. It is such an amazing story, and it's so interesting, and
it's so well written. That's the thing. And amazing. Seeing that brought to life through animation would be incredibly interesting to see. And just when Tim Burton has something to say, I forget what it was that he said about The Killing Joke, but he loved it. And when Tim Burton loves something, you know it's going to be creepy, and you know it's going to be just an uncomfortable but intriguing read because of the intensity of it and the insanity. You know it's going to be good. And if Tim Burton says that this is a good Joker story and this is a good creepy story, you know it's going to be a good Joker story.
Okay, also something else that intrigues me that I want to see is going to be another. They announced 2 animated movies.
Okay.
The other one will be Justice League versus the Teen Titans.
I remember hearing about that.
That sounds awesome. The Green Lantern movie has officially been dubbed Green Lantern Corps.
Okay.
Meaning there will be multiple Green Lanterns, and I really hope that they include all of the Green Lanterns from Earth. So, Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner, Kyle Rayner, John Stewart, maybe Simon Baz, but no one actually knows who Simon Baz is. So they can drop him. As long as John Stewart's in the movie, that's the biggest thing. And apparently Chris Pine is lined up to play John Stewart.
I love Chris Pine.
Not John Stewart, because Chris Pine's not black. Hal Jordan.
I love Chris Pine. He would be a good Hal Gordon. I like that.
Hal Gordon?
Or whatever you just said.
Jordan,
yeah. I don't know why I said Gordon, but... the Teen Titans, that's going to be an interesting one to see, because the most recent thing we have at Teen Titans is the Teen Titans Go show.
I hate that show.
Wait, I'm not going to defend the show. I'm not. It can be funny because they reference some of the old comics.
There's cool references, but beyond that...
They have some references that, if you know them, it makes you giggle, but otherwise, it's stupid. It doesn't teach kids really any good morals. Kids love it, though, and it's given attention to the Teen Titans, so maybe I'm hoping that means that they'll do more with the Teen Titans, because I love the Teen Titans. And seeing an animated movie with them would be good, since we haven't seen something good animated with them since the Teen Titans show, which I loved and wish would come back.
Yeah, they're like, I think the live action Teen Titans show is still going to happen. It's just a matter of like it getting more traction, I guess. I don't know. It's taking forever.
It's probably still in planning and writing stages and everything like that.
Yeah.
That's probably something that would probably take like another 3 or so years to come out.
I don't know.
Or
it's
something.
not gonna take that long, but like it's just
maybe sometimes you.
It's just it's on a slow track that's kind of annoying.
And then Green Lantern. I don't know. The Green Lantern movie was the one that we had.
It was
the
bad.
live action one. It was okay.
I liked it enough because I like Ryan Reynolds as an actor. I really liked him.
Basically, if you didn't know that much about the Green Lantern,
well,
then
it
it was
still
a good
looked
movie.
bad because the CGI was over the top. That is the only movie that I've actually noticed bad CGI. Which is why in the Deadpool trailer he makes fun of the costume, because it was bad
True.
CGI. And that's the only movie that I've ever noticed bad CGI.
The thing is, a lot of movies, well, not a lot of movies anymore, but some movies will put more money into other aspects where they should be putting it into the CGI. Because I'm not a filmmaker or anything, but I know this for a fact. If you got the money for the movie, you put it into the CGI, because then you get movies like Life of Pi, which had amazing CGI, and things that are just beautifully done. And that's where you get your money from. CGI impresses people.
But they could have made an actual costume.
Yeah,
like,
they could have made an actual costume.
They could have just CGI'd his
It
constructs,
wouldn't have been hard.
which is what you have to do with the Green Lantern constructs. But like, the costumes could have been actual. Like, it could have been an actual costume.
They could have taken away money from making his.
They went CGI animated. Crazy.
Yeah,
That's
they should have.
But the point is, we're going to see multiple Green Lanterns, multiple Earthbound Green Lanterns, which will be really cool. So, and that's everything that I can think of that is relevant to pop nerd culture that came out of Comic-Con. Anything you heard?
Well, not the same stuff that that your people would be interested in, but
very true.
I'm a cartoon nerd, so
I'm aware. Right. So we have talked for over an hour.
Yeah, I talk a lot.
It first seemed like you were kind of surprised that we actually talked this long.
No, I've been watching the clock and I've just been going, yeah.
Well, I mean,
too much.
pulled out a real podcast, then after editing, it probably be like just over an hour. So, with that, say goodbye to the nice people.
Goodbye, nice people.
Why does everyone do that?
Because you say it! You say goodbye to nice people, that's what I'm going to say.
Smart ass. Alright, guys.
You choose to be with me.
Alright, guys. There's another Nerd Talk TV podcast. And, catch you guys later. Before we go, Ant-Man podcast coming, probably Saturday after Ant-Man.
Woo!
Because we'll be seeing that, and then we will be talking about it. So, stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Alright, guys. Peace.